All right, this will be the People News. Okay, not attorney, not giving legal advice. Okay, use your Second Amendment, arm yourself with knowledge, and entice what I'm fixing to show you. All right, and let's make it short and sweet because this is kind of a long video. But I want to also want to say that my intent was to kind of do a little bit more of the 14th Amendment challenge against the people and all that, but to get more of a clear understanding by case law. All right. And even in the court cases, only one that I know of, and it was due to this guy. All right. We talked about many times creature of the state, which is corporations. Walmart's a creature to the state. Okay. And somehow or another, the government became in control. And so, therefore, the state is creature to federal government. Okay. However, in a couple of these court cases, the state is creature to the people, right? And we got to check out some of these cases because so many times we go by case law that's got person. But we need to look at case law that's got people. So think about it. We need to get cases got men and women, and then we need to get cases that's got people in it, not so-called person. Okay, and in these old course cases, even when they use person, it's not the definition that the government uses today. It's the definition that common men and women use in their private visiting. All right, let's go with this, and I'm going to rewind it back because the creature of the state is what got me. Let's go.
Michael first.
Oh, by the way, this is Smart LOC TV. Check him out. All 50 states holding the people are sovereign. Imagine that. Back when we actually had real judges, not administrative magistrates that's taking our rights away.
The state, 1867. This is why you need to read the old cases. They just tell you what it is in the old cases. They don't care. No doubt, the ultimate sovereignty, meaning the government making sovereignty, meaning the power to create government. Let me read that again. I'm sorry, y'all. No doubt, the ultimate sovereignty, the government making sovereignty, meaning the power to create a government, resides in the people. But after a government is once formed by the people, they, being the people, can only exercise this sovereignty, in other words, the power to create another government, by revolution, or in the manner they have prescribed to themselves in the Constitution. So let's say the people, sovereign people of Alabama, establish them a government, and they want to abolish the government. They want to just do another government. They have two solutions in which they can do that. They can do it in a manner that they have prescribed to themselves in the Constitution, or they can start a revolution and create another government.
Which goes back into what Constitution is he talking about that's described, right? It's the petition, right? Our First Amendment, to petition our redress of our grievance, do a monstrance, all right? We can abolish them peacefully by doing this and holding our private courts, holding our legislatures and our Senate and our governor, our judges. And since our legislatures may not impeach bad acting judges, well, we need to let them go. And we need to have them impeached through petition. Cops, petition. Okay? We need to go to the city and tell them that, hey, we're doing a petition of our redress and grievance. And even in the city, and two, because in most cases, the, what do you call them? If you commit a crime, you got a prosecutor, right? There is in most states, I believe, they are voted in. Well, they got to take an oath and all that. Well, they need to be impeached. We need to petition to them and say, hey, whoa, wait a minute here now, right? And let's just say officer like in Arizona killed the one man when he was on the ground with no arms in his hands and all that. We know what the other words used, okay? We need to petition to the prosecutor of our redress and grievance to have him be put in prison. And if the judge gives him 6 months, now we got to get a petition to actually have that judge impeached. Okay, so we got to learn powerful things. And I mean, we got all these people running the streets. We have all them same people that can sign or fill out a petition.
The state in its corporate capacity is the people, limiting their conduct by the Constitution. Alright, this video it's probably going to be about 35 minutes, something like that. I'm going to try to keep it short, y'all. Arizona. Respondent also contends that certain statutes support her contention. But it would be absurd to say that the legislature, which is a creature of the people, through their constitution, whose constitution? The people's constitution.
Right there. Creature of the people. If Texas have control and your town has control over Walmart because they're a creature of the state, therefore, that same rules apply to the people. It's because our officials are creature to the people.
Could enact a law which would take precedence over constitutional provisions enacted by the people themselves. The legislature can't do that because they're not sovereign. Every so-called branch of government, being the judicial, legislative, and executive, all three of those branches of government are administrative agencies of the people. The law that they are administering is the Constitution. Where do we leave off? Okay. This court will not violate the people's trust by attempting to subvert their constitution to any legislative enactment because the court can't do that.
Boom. The court says we will not violate. Okay? Back in the old days, I'm surprised they don't use it very often back in the old days, but in the common law jurisdiction, right? The courts will not cause domestic abuse against the people. Anytime they say violate, that's domestic abuse. So exchange violate to domestic abuse. Okay? Domestic abuse, once again, I said it in my previous video. Domestic abuse was government abusing, violating your rights. Okay? We later on actually did it to basically family. And so therefore they threw that curveball and say, okay, domestic abuse is only for family members. But domestic abuse came out for the people saying government is committing a domestic abuse against the people. Attorneys just flipped it, is all they did, flipped it.
He's a trustee. He's a magistrate. He can't do that. In the State versus Osborne, Arizona, this court stated, I think this is one with that long citation. No, it ain't it. All right. It's going to be the next one. But anyway, the legislature are but representatives delegated to perform duties in subordination to the will of the people. The legislature speaks for the people. The sovereign people speak in the language of their constitution. Their will, expressed in the Constitution, is the will of the sovereign itself. The legislature may speak, but only within the limitations of the fundamental law. What fundamental law? The Constitution. The courts may interpret and administer the law, but only in keeping with the oath of the judges to support the Constitution.
Doesn't need to be any clearer than that, y'all. Not the statutes. Statutes only apply to the government body and the creature of state. The statutes apply to what? Walmart. All right? But that statute cannot order Walmart to issue, make sure we have permits to be able to buy arms, because that would be an infringement of our rights. So that statute is in conflict with the Second Amendment. So therefore, even though that they are creatures of the state, the town or the legislature cannot tell them, well, you can sell guns, but the only thing you cannot do is ask any questions, really. The first thing comes out of your mouth. Which one do you want? Okay. All right, well, here you go. You have yourself a nice day. See you later. It's that simple. But the states are forcing them to violate our rights.
The executive may execute the law, but under the guise of its execution, may not lay a hand against the sovereign will. Nobody can. This is why you need to know what your rights are. This is why you need to study law so you can understand what these people are doing. There's the case citation right there if you wanted it.
I mean, could that get any clearer? This is old cases. And everything, if you look at it, well, and it's blurry on my TV as well, but it's capital, and then it's all small. Capital, all small. All right? Because it had meaning back then as well as today. All right? We got to understand some of these things. Now we go all the way back to the beginning of this in a lot of ways. And
sovereign citizen videos, or the YouTubers who are just making fun of people in the videos who really don't know what they're doing. I'm just really tired of seeing that. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. But first, give me 1 second, y'all. I'll be right back.
We're about to celebrate the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. And you look at the promises in the Declaration, and they're so profound, right? We are all created equal. We have inalienable rights. They don't come from government. They belong to each of us. And government derives its just powers from the consent of the governed. We are the sovereign of this country. We the people. Those are profound promises. And we all want those promises to be realized more and more over time. And the questions I'm asking through the book, really through the stories of the people to whom it's dedicated, how are we doing? That's kind of our report card, that those three promises in the Declaration. How are we?
All right, I'm gonna stop it right there.
I am too, right? Because they're doing a crappy job. They're doing better now than they have been. We talked about the administrative and how the judges are taking back over of the statutes, interpreting the statutes. But you heard me previous tell them that was not their authority. The Supreme Court is to order the Congress to rewrite the statute and make sure it's clear and direct for the average man and women to read, right? And these statutes apply to the creature of the state or creature of the federal government, okay? So it does not apply to the people. We just talked about it a second ago about our Second Amendment. Well, see, he's going to read the statute, even though he's talking about sovereign and all that. But he's going to read the statute and say, well, Walmart did nothing wrong. Well, yes, they did. All right? You need to read the statute a little bit more. How does it apply to the people? Walmart does not have the authority or you to create a statute that violates my rights to go ahead and purchase an arm.
So I want to show y'all something, you know. I want to show y'all something. I've already done it in one of my videos, but I'm going to do it again.
We're going to go ahead and end it there, but wanted to kind of show a little bit of what real courts look like, not today's courts. Okay? We've all been operating in administrative so much that we assume it's law. And then people want to sit there and argue, oh, you're a sovereign citizen. Well, no. I'm disagreeing with this thing they're calling law a law. 95% of things they call law is unconstitutional on its face. And the Supreme Courts have been doing a really good job. Not as good as they could, but at least we're starting to swing our tails and getting back into there. Okay? But all these gun things that they're going through the Supreme Courts over and over and over and over, all they did is create a muck when it was just one simple thing. That statute was unconstitutional on its face, Congress, and you need to wipe it out. Okay? And reevaluate and do it in such a manner, in such a way, that it does not violate the people's right. Even though all these laws are saying persons, this judge is not an idiot. All right? He knows the difference between people and persons. And playing along with the stupid game, he shouldn't be doing in the first place. So, anybody that goes to the Supreme Courts needs the people in there, not the person. And I think there's been a couple of recent cases that's been coming up with people in there. Finally, people are starting to wake up and realize this. And I think Supreme Courts have been kind of holding off on it because it's been such a muck in the Supreme Courts here lately. But we're starting to be on the right track. So good on that. DSOE People News. Bye, y'all.